Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the entire LAMENTIS skill information because he's out on the Pioneer server. Keep in mind that the content is subject to change, but currently I wanted to give you some information right off the bat. In Dream Realm today on Pioneer server, the top team for Doomscourge Dream Realm boss is using LAMENTIS and Peggy. You'll see a screenshot before you, and it actually is creating a 20 billion or so damage score gap compared to the no LAMENTIS, no Peggy version, which is basically being run on global server right now. Now, of course, we're going to actually need LAMENTIS to come out on global to see his pre-endless Dream Realm usage as well, and also we need to see his usage in other bosses, but this is just a proof that LAMENTIS is going to be meta for at least Doomscourge Dream Realm boss, if not potentially even more than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down his skills. So his ultimate ability, Malevolent Gaze, also does begin with 600 initial energy, which is really good news because that is going to allow him to get off the ultimate much quicker in a match, and also in PvP it's really kind of important. When a hero depends a lot on their ultimate, they should have some pre-fill energy to begin it. Now, each of LAMENTIS' apostles targets an enemy and stuns them for 3.5 seconds. Prioritizing different frontmost enemies, LAMENTIS then deals really high damage, 760% attack multiplier to all enemies, while the apostles reduce the maximum health of the stunned enemies by 20% of LAMENTIS' initial maximum health. Now, this is also really strong, right? It wasn't really highlighted in the skill trailer effectively because the stat scaling seems weird when they do that testing, but reduce the maximum health of the stunned enemies by 20% of LAMENTIS' initial maximum health, which is basically going to be like, I know a tank probably has more health than LAMENTIS as a carry, however probably still 10 to 15% of that those tank health is just going to be obliterated, basically erased, because it is a complete reduction. And after casting the skill, LAMENTIS and his apostles will gain 60 attack speed for 10 seconds. He definitely is an attack speed scaling hyper carry, and so this is going to be pretty important for him. And one final point is that it doesn't mention how many targets can basically be hit with this stun and have this HP reduction, but it is that the number of apostles you have is a number of targets you can hit with the stun and HP reduction. Eventually, LAMENTIS is able to even get up to 5 or 6 apostles, in which case it would basically be applying onto the entire enemy team. But in PvP, early on, he's only going to have 2 apostles. So, yeah, that is his ultimate. Now, the skill 2 of LAMENTIS is Starcrusher. It has a 0-second cooldown because it is just tied to his normal attacks. Every third normal attack that LAMENTIS deals is going to be an enchanted fork, which will be dealing bonus damage. Basically, it will deal this base 240% damage, plus an extra damage equal to 20% of the target's maximum health, and that extra damage will be capped out at 240%. So, basically, every third normal attack LAMENTIS deals, he's going to be coming in with a lot of bonus damage, up to basically 500% attack multiplier bonus damage, and that is why attack speed is going to be benefiting him so much as a hyper carry. And actually, as we're going to see later on in his kit, his apostles will also have this skill attached to them. Every third normal attack of an apostle is also going to be dealing this bonus damage, which is why things get pretty crazy pretty quickly with enough attack speed on LAMENTIS. Now, his skill 3 Astral Fission, this has a 10-second cooldown, 1-second initial cooldown. LAMENTIS sacrifices 5% of his maximum health, which isn't that much, to create 2 apostles from nebulae and particles. The apostles last 12 seconds and inherit 45% of LAMENTIS' attack, and it goes up to 60% of LAMENTIS' attack and 80% of his health. They can use normal attacks and Starcrusher. See, they can use the Starcrusher skill and prioritize attacking LAMENTIS' current target. Up to 6 apostles can exist on the battlefield at the same time. If an apostle survives until its duration ends, it will merge back into LAMENTIS, healing him for HP equal to 80% of the actual damage the apostle dealt while it was active, which is going to be a pretty big burst of healing, because each apostle is going to be basically merging back into LAMENTIS himself, and they're going to be dealing bonus damage every third normal attack from the Starcrusher skill. Now, they are going to have lower attack than LAMENTIS. They have 60%, but if you have 2 of them, that's already 120%, so actually, the 2 of them combined are actually going to be outputting more damage than LAMENTIS himself from, like, his normal attacks and the Starcrusher. And so the apostles are going to hit hard, and if you then combine it with a hero like Peggy, who we just reviewed, boosting the range damage of summons with a Royal Archer, or if you combine it with, you know, even Aurora, boosting, basically causing your summons to ignore defenses of the enemy, is going to get pretty crazy. So Aurora, Peggy really are going to be Lamentis' best friend when it comes to Dream Realm content and potentially even in PvP. And so, yeah, this is actually going to be pretty high damage output and then healing when it goes back into Lamentis. Now, one thing we have to highlight, and we'll talk about it probably later in the video too, but basically Lamentis, even though he has great damage output, he does lack the survival. This healing is not enough to, for example, protect him, right? It's only like after the fact, if you manage to survive, okay, well, here's your bonus healing. But the problem is, what if you don't manage to survive? There's nothing actually negating that, protecting you from that killing blow. That is a major problem I have with Lamentis so far for PvP content. But we will keep talking about it. Next up, we have the hero focus. Again, he's an attack speed scaling hypercarry, so why not give him more attack speed on his hero focus? 30 attack speed, and for each of his apostles present on the battlefield, they gain an extra 5 attack speed. Oh, and this is both him and his apostles. So not only himself, he's benefiting all of his apostles, and they're all going to be getting 30 attack speed from the beginning. When you have the 2 extra summons, it's going to be 40 attack speed for everyone because of the bonus 10. Right, 30 plus 10 is 40, and then when you get more and more apostles, you're going to get 5 more attack speed on your whole, both Lamentis and his apostles, the whole army of them, basically, for each bonus apostle you have. So yeah, very, very synergistic hero focus. Now moving on to Omnisight, his exclusive skill, no cooldown here. Every time an apostle uses a normal attack, it gains 1 stack of growth. Each stack of growth, now this is really the crazy part. Like, this is the part of his kit, which is like, okay, he's gonna begin to become busted. Every time an apostle uses a normal attack, it gains 1 stack of growth. Each stack of growth increases basic stats by 4%, and that is going to be applying to the apostle. And because you're going to have a lot of attack speed, right, and boosted attack speed for the apostles, they're going to stack up this growth rapidly. Now, when an apostle's power merges back into Lamentis, Lamentis gains that apostle's growth. Lamentis can have up to 20 stacks of growth. So, like, really, you can cap out Lamentis' growth just in that initial summon, because you're going to have 12 seconds of your 2 apostles, right? 1 second in the battle, he has those 2 apostles. They're going to be hitting boom, 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 and then they're going to get 10 growth stacks each. Actually, they're probably going to get even more than that. Then they fuse into him, and Lamentis is fully stacked basically 13 seconds into a match. And so if you can protect Lamentis long enough to get fully stacked, he's going to be absolutely insane, even when it comes to PvP. Now, definitely for Dream Realm, you don't need to really even do much to protect him, because the bosses just don't have that much, like, you know, a nuking power like a PvP comp. So Lamentis is easily going to get stacked up. And like I said, 13 seconds in, he's going to have the full growth stacks, because each of his apostles are going to gain 1 growth stack. And then he's going to be maxed capped out, and he's going to be getting some stats. So increase the basic stats granted by each stack of growth to 6%, and this will apply to Lamentis as well. So his apostles are going to get 6% per growth stack. When Lamentis has this, you know, all 20 stacks, 20 times 6 is 120%. 120% bonus basic stats, and this is all basic stats, which are going to be including your attack and defenses and health. Generally speaking, that is what it includes, that is what it entails. Now let's look at his level 4. When Lamentis reaches the maximum growth stacks gained from this skill, he opens up his 6th eyes and unlocks his full potential, allowing him to create apostles every 3 seconds at no cost until the apostle limit is reached. While Lamentis' 6th eyes are active, Starcrusher cast by him and his apostles deal 240% extra true damage. So yeah, if you are worried, you know, about his Dream Realm potential because he didn't have true damage up until right now, well, now this solves all your worries, because after he has the 6 eyes unlocked, which is literally only going to be 13 seconds into a Dream Realm match, he is going to be then dealing true damage on every 3rd normal attack due to the Starcrusher, and all of his apostles are also going to be dealing that true damage, and the apostles no longer expire. So then basically what's going to happen is he's gonna get every 3 seconds, so like 13 seconds in, he's capped out, right? Then what happens is he's going to be casting his Astral Fission, and now he's going to get another 2 apostles, right? And then every 3 seconds, you're going to be getting 1 apostle each. And then so pretty soon into the match, you're going to have all 6 apostles. They're all going to be stacking up their growth with each normal attack they do, eventually getting up to the 20 stacks. Lamentis is going to be 20 stacks as well. And well, they don't even tell you how many apostles they can stack up. I'm assuming apostles also have 20 growth stacks, because Lamentis can have a cap of up to 20. But like, anyway, your apostles and Lamentis are all going to be firing off massive damage output, stacked up on growth stacks, and like absolutely doing crazy things, especially for Dream Realm content. And the apostles no longer expire. Lamentis also recovers health equal to 80% of the actual damage dealt by his apostles and gain 20% of the energy they gain, which is also crazy, because basically the apostles, he has 6 units. They're all going to be gaining energy. The 20% of all of that is going to be given to him for bonus energy, and that will allow him to cycle his ultimate more frequently, which is a big damage nuke, and more importantly, 60 attack speed. For him and all of his apostles, all going to be hitting 60 attack speed, 60% faster, basically. Well, not exactly 60%, it depends how you calculate it, but basically that's the increase in the frequency of their normal attacks by 60%. So, and now that is it for this skill, right? And healing, right? So like, once he has the 6 eyes activated, then the healing is basically continuous rather than just waiting for him to absorb them, and then that should be great for his survival. Now, Enhanced Force Supreme Plus, when an apostle is affected by stat buffs from allies, Lamentis also receives 10% of those same buffs. And that, now, I don't know exactly what this means. Like, for example, if you have 6 different apostles, let's say they're all getting, you know, I don't know, let's say it's a Celeste. I don't know if Celeste would even go on the summons, but let's say it's like a Mikola or a Smokey attack buff of 20%, right? So all 6 of them are getting 20% attack buff. In total, that's 120%. Is he going to get 10% of that 120%? I would think so, because, like, you know, all the allies, and if there's an attack speed buff from Leica, he's going to get 10% of all of that on all of his apostles, and 10% of those same buffs. Now, these are stat buffs, so these are not actual, like, you know, Aurora increases, like, causes your summons to ignore 50% of enemy defense. That isn't actually classified as a buff or a stat buff. I'm pretty sure, and so that probably is not going to be shared over with Lamentis. But when it comes to actual stat buffs, attack, defenses, attack speed, haste, twins are going to be in Dream Realm, right? So that haste buff on those apostles, yep, Lamentis is taking a percentage of that as well. That is strong. And the thing is, Peggy is going to have good synergy with Lamentis, even for PvP, because Peggy also gives buffs to your different summons, right? And so Lamentis is going to get some portion of those buffs as well. I don't know if yeah, like, you would want to even consider some defensive buffs as well for PvP specifically. But like, I think the angle for Lamentis to work in PvP would be a Dunlinger for those initial 12 seconds of protection, basically allowing Lamentis to have his apostles fully stack up their growth and then fuse back into him, and then have him fully and unlock his 6 eyes within 12 seconds into the match. That would be ideal, Dunlinger Lamentis, if that can work. But definitely for PvP, you will have to protect him long enough, or he is going to go down too quickly, because Lamentis is all about ramping. He's very similar to Harak in the sense that if Harak can fully ramp up, fully stack up, no one is going to touch Harak. Harak is going to obliterate the field. It's the same thing with Lamentis. If you can unlock his 6 eyes, get all the apostles on the map, all 6 of them, I find it very hard to believe that anyone is going to be able to deal with him with his maximum growth stacks. But the thing is getting him there. You need to bridge the gap, and you need to protect him. So let's go ahead and look at the trial stage so you guys can see exactly what's going on here. Definitely very interesting looking character, very bright, and a unique design compared to any other character. And I love this animation. I think it's when he's casting his ultimate, he kind of levitates up. I really like that. And now look at this. So you see him here. He has the 2 apostles, right? Because I think they all refuse back into him to give him the growth stacks. He should be capped out on his growth right now. And now his skill is going to go again. Oh no, he absorbs him again. So I think the thing is, the summons seem to have a slightly lower attack speed, as you guys see. And you're going to want to have attack speed buffers on the team to basically bridge that gap. Because really, ideally, you want Lamentis to, in his first cycle, basically, of the 2 summons, absorb up to 20 growth stacks and unlock his 6 eyes. You don't want to have to cycle to the second round, because that just wastes an extra 12 seconds, right? So it's better, it's ideal if you do that. And now look at all of his apostles on the field, just dealing their damage, all ramped up. And from this point on, it's basically like, yeah, there's not even your 2 guards, Gawain or whoever these guys are, like, yeah, I can go to sleep now, because yeah, Lamentis is stealing the show. So Lamentis is a very interesting character. If you want to know his charm bonus, it is the same as Peggy, by the way. Increases attack speed, but this is a very strong bonus for him because it increases his attack speed and also the units created by the caster. This is the perfect charm quality bonus you can give a hero like LAMENTIS because attack speed is a major ramp for him. You know, to get those growth stacks, collect them, and then 12% bonus attack, but 50 attack speed most importantly. This is for both him and his created units. And then after hitting an enemy, you increase the damage that enemy takes from the caster and units created by 4, it stacks up to 20%. And basically that can help for Dream Realm, right? Increasing your damage dealt by himself and his units, right? By 20%. Which is already a big damage amplification. So overall, LAMENTIS is definitely an interesting hero. However, of course, I do not think like we highlighted all of his uses, his potential. However, realistically speaking, he's not going to be the most meta hero. When it comes to Endless Dream Realm, LAMENTIS does not have HP loss damage, meaning that he probably is only going to be used in Endless of Dream Realm for Doomscourge boss, which is a summoner dominated boss. The other bosses, as we're going to see as days go on in Pioneer server, I find it very unlikely LAMENTIS will be in the top teams because he just has some true damage. True damage is not enough for endless difficulty of bosses, and as you guys know, Phase 2 and Phase 3, the majority of Phase 2 and all of Phase 3 is endless Dream Realm bosses only. And so those are the heroes which actually get more utilization, more value, the heroes which can do well in endless difficulty. LAMENTIS is a hero which is going to be shining in pre-endless Dream Realm, maybe in multiple bosses, which we will not be able to see until we actually have him out on the global server, because the thing is right now on Pioneer, everything's at level 900, people even have their charms and everything. But even without the charms, you're going to be making it into endless. You can't even see the value for pre-endless on Pioneer. We're going to have to wait for VN server and global server to check out that. But for endless, it's very unlikely, like I said. And so other than Doomscourge he's going to be in, but right now there's not a huge gap even between the no LAMENTIS, no Peggy team, as I showed at the beginning of the video. And so there's not a real pressure to be recruiting him. And then for the PvP angle, I've talked about how potentially we can make him work. However, of course, right now it is still in the testing period. I also do not think that LAMENTIS is going to be top tier meta PvP. Like, he is not on the tier of hypercarries like Gwyneth, Freerin, Sylphira, and potentially Saida. He's not on that tier, and so he's not going to be the major priority to be building up for PvP. And for Dream Realm, like I said, I think he's going to have usage, but I don't think it's going to be so dominant. And also, of course, importantly, King Roland is going to be coming in Phase 3 almost definitely, and we have already seen he has haste and attack buff, and you always need to watch out for those. He could be the next new meta support for Dream Realm content and a must pull for your account. And so LAMENTIS is a hero. Majority of players, you will have to skip him. Even if you like his design, even if you think he's cool, you will have to skip him because he is not going to bring enough value to your account to warrant building him. However, he is going to have niche Dream Realm usage definitely. We'll have to see just how niche that will be. And he will have some PvP usage as well, almost definitely. But again, not in the top tier. So he is a hero which can be skipped if you're low on resources, but at the same time, I also believe he's a hero that can work and have uses, and I'm excited to actually test that when I recruit for him on global server, because of course I'm going to be recruiting for him, and I have my eyes on actually max refining him. Oh, we didn't even talk about this for his exclusive skill. Now, the refinement for EX equipment refinement, it probably is a glitch right here, or maybe like a visual bug. Because he's the only character that actually has the rogue, basically buffing effect, but he's a marksman. If you see it here in rivalry mode, gain 15 penetration, 15 haste for 5 seconds at beginning of battle. That is for rogue class heroes. He's a marksman, so he should have the scaling attack speed and normal attack damage one, which even suits him better. That one's way better for him, in my opinion, compared to this one. But I think that's probably a visual bug. When it looks at his refined 4, 20 attack speed, 20 execution, that's probably what he will have. And of course, attack speed benefits him. And execution is definitely going to benefit him as well. So I have my eyes on actually refining him to level 4 because I'll be resetting my Marcel, and I just want to try to allocate it to a newer release hero rather than like a Thalia Krynai, who are a bit like, old news. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try my hardest to make Lamentis work for PvP, and definitely show you some comps as well. And by the way, if you wanted to know how my Supreme League is going, I made it to the finals, thankfully. We're going to have the final match coming up shortly. And regardless of the outcome of that match, I am going to actually upload the video because it is against my guildmate Dal, who I predicted was going to be my hardest opponent. And it is very tough matchup. I feel like any one of us two could win it, and it just comes down to kind of like how we arrange our teams and then the RNG of that. But yeah, so do stay tuned for that, because in case you're wondering, like, I haven't really updated on Supreme League. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. Let me know your thoughts about Lamentis in the comment section down below. Are you excited for him? Are you gonna be skipping him for King Roland? And let me know all that basically you have to say about this topic, about Lamentis, and also the upcoming King Roland Celestial Hypergene. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Firelight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.